Okay, so we're just gonna get the obvious thing out of the way. I have a kitten.
You do have a kitten.
So that's why I have a weird papoose on. Moving on. That's happening. We're gonna talk about Power Rangers in space.
All things Power Rangers in general,
All things
but
Power
Power
Rangers.
Rangers in space, that's my favorite season for sure. But I actually want to know. I actually don't know if you have a definitive answer. What's your favorite season of Power Rangers?
My favorite season is Dino Charge.
Oh, that you do talk about Dino Charge a lot on your channel. That's true. You
I
do
love
praise it a lot
I
for
love
sure.
it.
No, it's great. And some people don't know this. I actually stopped watching Power Rangers after Mystic Force. Just kind of like when I kind of grew out of Power Rangers, like in high school and stuff. And I just never went back to it. And I know what everyone's going to tell me. Oh, Sean, watch RPM. Everyone always tells me that. You don't need to watch any other season to watch RPM. It's the best season. It's the darkest season. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'll watch it or not. Everyone's been telling me to watch RPM.
RPM is really well written and I really love it, but it's not for everyone. I do know
Mm-hmm.
people that don't like it. So I always
Mm-hmm.
get kind of irked when people are like, "Oh, you have to watch RPM." I'm like, "What if they hate it?" I feel like 20% of fans just kind of just doesn't work for them.
I can really say, oh, I tried watching it and I didn't like it. If I did like it, but it does sound like something I would like. But I don't know. Getting back into Power Rangers is more nostalgic for me. I'd rather watch something I grew up with. That's what Power Rangers is to me. It's just nostalgic now. If I watch in space, it just feels like what I watched when I was younger. So that's what Hasbro's trying to sell nowadays is just nostalgia, right?
Yeah, just gonna remake Mighty Morphin again.
Again, maybe they'll do Zeo. I think maybe because it's another season that had taught me. That's what I feel like it is. Maybe they'll do Zeo.
Man, if they did In Space or Time Force,
Yeah,
I don't know
Time
how.
Force would be great on screen. Honestly,
Yeah,
Rancic itself was just such an awesome villain.
yeah.
Like him taking swords out of his like knee. It's like that was gnarly. As a kid, I should not have been watching that.
And he's like one of the only undefeated villains.
That's true because he does get captured, but then he becomes good in the team up.
Well, and he surrenders at the end of the season because daughter like convinces him that life is precious after
Right.
she helps Trip deliver a baby in like a changing room in a
Uh
mall.
huh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, that's right. I do remember that. And Rancic was one of the few villains that I actually like. Man, you could totally tell why that guy's bad. They dealt with a lot of like racial stuff in that show, and so when he was, what was his species again? He was,
Mutant.
yeah, he was a mutant. And the whole thing with Frax, that is the episode that always sticks in my brain. Is when he finds out about Frax, that illness that he had on his arm and stuff.
Mhm.
That to me is the episode that always stuck to me as a kid.
The whole Prax plot arc, I just am continually trying to forget about because it's so sad.
It is. It is. It's so sad because you just find out, oh, that guy's human. That guy's a dude. He just has a robot body.
And then, why am I blanking on her name? The pink hair daughter. Oh,
Oh, the
Nadira.
daughter.
She goes back to talk to him about humans when she's having her like existential villain crisis. And then he
Yeah.
had his memory wiped and he's just a robot. And her reaction to that is just like, oh God, oh,
Yeah.
so
And,
horrible.
and just so yeah, going back to Time Force would be a really insane season to adapt to tell to film, but in space as well because in space is they're just doing Star Wars and people love Star Wars anyways. But I think Time Force would definitely be or Wild Force. I still think Zanaku could have been a whole season villain because they could have really fleshed out that whole like pain and suffering of him like being trapped in this mask and him just not being able to control what he does. I always thought that was really, really good writing where what Merrick did was basically tell him, you have to kill me or I'm going to kill all of you. And I even thought as an adult, I'm like, that is some really strong writing.
There's some really dark stuff in Wild Force. Like, I was so surprised that Cole's parents are actually dead. There's no one buried under the tombstone, and you don't see everything
Um,
happen. You kind of like Power Rangers kind of sets up that he's just
mm,
going to find his parents and it'll be this happy
yeah,
reunion. And then the guy's like, no, I killed him.
yeah.
They're dead.
They're gone. It's very. I remember you made a video about it where they don't really discuss the topic of death really in Power Rangers.
They
They
really
hint at it, but it's a more mature thing. Because also they don't say kill or died. They say they were destroyed. But still, I think destroyed is more powerful than killing somebody. Because I feel like when you say I destroyed that dude, it means I feel like you obliterated them
yeah,
more than if they just died peacefully or anything.
they're not coming back. They were destroyed.
Going back to it, it's like nowadays that's why I watch mostly like the seasons I grew up with. My favorite seasons I grew up with, which it's more nostalgic. And it sucks that Hasbro is just selling the nostalgia because To be fair, no matter what they do, even if they got all the cast that are still alive and still acting, they're not going to get the same ratings they ever did in the 90s. They're just hoping, can we even get a sliver of that money that we got back then?
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. And I do meet some people who have only seen Mighty Morphin, and they do like, oh yeah, I came back because I know Tommy came back, or I came back because I saw Austin came back. So that's usually what it is. It's they're selling like, hey, you recognize this guy, right?
I mean, it's true. There is a huge audience that were a part of like the global phenomena who watch all of the seasons and aren't like, hardcore fans. The name recognition of Mighty Morphin does bring a lot of a like broader audience in, but they never do it right. And it's never good enough to satisfy a returning audience, and it's never good enough to satisfy the like current fans. Seems like a mistake to me.
And I was a really big fan of the 2017 movie, actually. I wasn't a big fan of the suits because I think there were too CG. I feel like everyone says that they're trying too much to be like Iron Man. I actually was a big fan of that movie. I thought it was fun. It was lighthearted.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh yeah. I know some people like complained about it. Like some people said it's really bad, or I think I heard somebody say like the writing was like really cheesy. But that was Power Rangers, just cheesy. It's for kids, I feel like that movie was meant for the kids who are older now.
It's like a very character development driven movie, which is kind of jam, and it has some fun special effects in it. It's a lighthearted, small adventure flick. My biggest complaint about it was there weren't any like unmorphed fight scenes. They have they're like fighting over the last piece of cake with the forks. And that was really fun. And it's like 10 seconds.
It's gone and over. Yeah, it's over and done with really fast. There's not even that fight scene when they are morphed. It doesn't even last that long either. I wanted more of that because I'll be honest with everybody, I'm not a big robot guy. I wasn't a Transformers kid. I kind of, when I watch Power Rangers, I kind of like skim over the Megazord fights because I'm like, I'd rather watch the stunt actors fight in the suits because that to me is like really fun and cool. So to me, I wish I saw them in suits fighting more, like fighting the putties. I would have seen that more.
I think that movie suffers from the issue of they wrote it thinking they were going to get to write another one.
I actually quote you to this day about, if you're setting yourself up as a sequel, you're setting yourself up for failure. I remember I quote you on this all the time, because unless you're adapting something like The Lord of the Rings, where it's legitimately a trilogy, you're setting yourself up like, oh, but wait, in the next movie, you're going to get all you want. I'm like, dude, come on, like that's not how that works, man.
Even then, I mean, there's always a possibility you would have made the first Lord of the Rings movie and it would have tanked, and then you just don't get to make any more. So I feel like you really need to think, I could set this up for another movie, but I need it to be satisfying in and of itself, which...
Right, where if this was the only one, then that's fine. It has enough ending or enough plot where you're satisfied in it. I totally understand that, because I think about every movie, like I was just watching the John Wick movies, and the first one is so good that it could have ended at the first one. Exactly. It didn't need to have it could have not had 4 movies, and the first one would have been just fine. It would have been great.
And so why? Because the first one is its own beautiful, like, great thing, and didn't cool.
Yeah, even Star Wars did the same thing. Lucas didn't plan to make sequels, and New Hope is like 10 out of 10. It's really good. Yeah. But I want to get to In Space a little, because that is, for everyone in the Ranger community who knows me, I'm a big In Space person. I love In Space for the sense that I just love the adventures. I love the climax to the ending. That finale, I think that's the best finale in Power Rangers, the countdown to destruction. That whole Spartacus, it still gives me goosebumps to this day when they have that whole, like, we are the Power Rangers, and Bulk and Skull step up to like say like, I'm the Blue Ranger, I'm the Black Ranger. I think that's awesome. That's great character development for 2 characters that have been nothing but buffoons the whole time, that they were not selfish for this moment.
I think it's genius that they didn't have them say, I'm the Red Ranger, because that seems like such a Bulk move that he was
right.
First.
I didn't even think about it that way. You're absolutely right.
I'm the Red Ranger, but no, he picks the Blue Ranger. And I've had a lot of people say he didn't know Billy was the Blue Ranger, but what if like he kind of did? Because he learned that at one point and had his memory erased. And so maybe him saying I'm the Blue Ranger is kind of like a nod of respect to like the kid he used to bully all the time. I think that's like a really interesting theory.
That seems like a very like humble moment for him, where he's like, I'm the Blue Ranger.
And then Professor Phenomena says he's the Red Ranger, and he's like stuttering, and he's all...
Yeah, I didn't even think that deep about it. Now it's deeper than it is. I know you said you're like a newer Power Ranger fan because you started watching like 5 years ago or so.
something like that. Within the last decade, for sure.
What spoilers did you already know going into Power Rangers?
Oh, like when I first started, I didn't know anything about Power Rangers.
Anything. You just do the basic, like, oh, they're teenagers, they have colorful suits, they morph.
Didn't
None
know
of that either?
I actually would love to be able to put my brain in a time machine and figure out what exactly I knew about Power Rangers before I started watching it, because I think it was nothing. I'm pretty sure like I'd heard someone say Power Rangers before, and that was it.
Wow, that's interesting. And you didn't know anybody that grew up with it, or you didn't have friends or family that like.
I was homeschooled, and none of us had TV.
Were you Amish or something? Like, that's crazy. That's actually you say. So, how did you feel going into from like day one, and then going? Let's just start with the Zordon era. And how did you feel about everything, like the Rangers changing actors, Zordon dying? How did you feel about all that when you watched it?
I started with Dino Charge, and then I watched Ninja Steel, and then Time Force and Ninja Storm and RPM, and kind of like bounced around based on what I thought was a cool concept. Interestingly, I watched Dino Thunder before I watched any of the Zordon era stuff, and before I really started to make lore videos and theory videos. So I knew a little bit about the first team by then, but I didn't really know a lot. And so it was really fun starting Dino Thunder and having no idea who Tommy Oliver was. And the way that it's written and the way that he's portrayed, every time he comes on screen, there's this reverence of like, oh, it's Tommy.
It's Tommy.
But like that guy has been on the show before and he's a big deal. And then you get to the 200 episode, 600 episode, whatever the rehashing thing, went through all of the seasons and everything that happened. And that was my first exposure to like anything that happened in the Zordon era. And it was really interesting seeing the way they were like, and I got turned evil by Rita. And in my brain, I was like, what is this plot arc like? How dramatic is this? And then actually watching it later, it felt less insanely dramatic than it seemed going off of just like those two things where he was like, I moved to Angel Grove and then I got brainwashed by Rita. And I was like, oh, but yeah.
That's true. They had a whole episode, like it was a filler episode of just recapping, right?
Yeah. They just go through every Ranger team and everything that they've done.
Right. And it's Tommy just narrating, right? That's like someone said, oh yeah, I didn't know anything about Star Wars and I started with the sequels. And this Darth Vader guy, that guy's something.
That's important. Yeah, there's a reason. You can tell though, like when someone comes on screen and like, their theme music plays and the camera angles get different and people start making what sound like inside jokes. You're like, this is something I don't get. I watched the Zordon era straight through because by then I knew that it was chronological and I was like, I don't want to watch this out of order. Like I don't want to watch Turbo and then watch Mighty Morphin. So I went all the way through the first 6 seasons in chronological order. And it was really interesting because even as someone who is a full-grown adult and never watched it, it has so much nostalgia. Like
it feels nostalgic. Like you can tell what era it was in.
I'm really feeling feels about this. Like, it's not even like I'm watching it again as an adult. I'm watching it for the first time as an adult. And yet still, I was like, I get why this was popular. It has a certain charisma to it that not a lot of other things have.
I got to ask you then. So how did you feel about when Zordon died? Like they killed Zordon.
It felt like a good end to his plot arc. It's a very dramatic moment. I knew it was going to happen.
Did you? Because I feel like with Power Rangers, you're like, they're not going to kill him. They're going to come up with something.
I knew it was going to happen because I was a part of the community at that point, and you can't exactly say no spoilers for
man, this community sucks. No,
it's a really good end to his plot arc, and I don't think they rushed it. I think that it was well done. I feel so bad for Andros, but I think
Christopher K. Lee doesn't feel bad. He's on a pedestal with that. Like I'm the guy who killed Zordon.
But I mean, Andros was already so emo. This is just one more thing. I thought it was a really great like end to the show. This is good writing. In Space is so good because they thought that it was ending. I feel like in a way they were like, what are all these crazy things we can do, all these like mad swings we can take, because there's not going to be another season and be kind of fucked up Turbo and ratings are down, so let's just do it.
That usually seems when it's like they do their best writing, when they're like, okay, well we can just do what we want because they're ending it anyways. That was In Space. RPM was similar, right?
Yep. And Cosmic Fury.
When you give writers who are passionate about it the freedom to like, hey, you're not restricted by the people in suits, I feel like that's when you do your best writing.
Interestingly, I know know you love In Space. I would recommend watching RPM just for the comparison between Andros and Karone's arc and Dillon and Tenaya's arc. Like, it's the same fucking thing. It is.
Okay. Yeah, I know the spoilers and stuff, but I do see the similarities between the whole Karone thing.
I watch too much TV. So
that's totally fine.
I would have probably known that Zordon was going to die even if I hadn't had it spoiled, because I just intuitively, I don't know. My brain is broken. I was actually watching RPM with my brother. In episode 1, Dillon's like, I can't stay. I gotta go. I'm like doing something. And then he sees these little kids playing, and it's like a little boy with the same haircut as him who's wearing a leather jacket fighting with his sister who has long brown hair. And in the next episode, Tenaya shows up and she has long brown hair and she puts a mask on as soon as Dillon walks on screen. And I was like, okay, so that's his sister and he's looking for her and she's also like a cyborg. And my brother was like, what? I was like, yeah, that's the plot twist, is that that's his sister and they were both being experimented on. That's why they're both robots. And she's always going to wear a mask when he's around. And he was like, how do you know that? I was like, did you see the kids that he looked at? It was just them, but many. Most blatant.
You see the same tropes and everything now.
I was like, there are only 3 women, and one of them is Dr. K.
It's like Star Wars. There's only like 2 women in all of Star Wars. Yeah. But it's at least, the most powerful characters have been women in Power Rangers. Kimberly is still everyone's like, I know people are going to say like, oh, well, people only liked her because she was hot. I'm like, nah, Kimberly was pretty badass, all right? And for people who don't know, my favorite Power Ranger is actually In Space Yellow. But Power Rangers always given like everyone has like their own strength, and I've always admired that everyone is equal, but everyone is strong at the same time. So I know you say like, oh, there's only 3 women in Power Rangers, but at least it's not like the 1960s where like, oh yeah, the woman goes over there and let the men do the work. Yeah.
It's kind of one of those at least there are 3 women situations.
Yeah. What's your favorite Ranger then?
I don't really do favorites. I think it's the polyamory in me, but
okay.
Well, and it has an S at the end. Favorites,
Oh, favorites. Yeah, fair enough.
Wes Collins, Izzy Garcia, Zoe Reeves, Riley Griffin. I like Ziggy Grover, Bridge Carson. Big fan of Green Rangers. I mean, I love Trip too.
Trip's awesome. He's like the underdog of the team. I've always loved that. Is there a Ranger, is there a character that like you didn't like that you're like, what? Who wrote this? Is it Troy?
No, no one wrote Troy. He's not a character. He's a cardboard cutout that's just on screen.
Okay.
So there's nothing to dislike about him.
Okay.
No, I actually am working on a video right now about Power Rangers who are not nice people. And, one of the big ones that I always hated, which is a real shame because everyone loves her, is Taylor Earhart, Wild Force Yellow.
Oh yeah, she's a pretty big jerk.
She's such a jerk. And
you're like, is that what you're wondering? Like, why did someone choose her to be a Ranger?
Exactly.
Is it just because she was in the Air Force? Is that it? Is that
literally her only kidnaps the Red Ranger? In episode 1 for no,
but it was for his own good.
Was it?
I don't know. He had a better purpose.
They wake him up, and 4 people are talking to him at once. He has just woken up. He's confused. He doesn't say anything. He takes like 1 step back, and he's like, and then she just attacks him.
They human traffic Cole, basically.
And then he wakes up and they're like, you're welcome. And I'm like, excuse me?
And they gave him a better purpose, though. He became the Red Ranger.
She could have just said,
I know.
Like, hey, we need your help.
Yeah, I've never even thought about that. She is pretty mean. Even when she meets Eric in the Time Force crossover, she's just a big old jerk, too. All she cares about is like, you're the guy who gave me a ticket. I'm like, we're fighting mutants and you care about the stupid ticket still?
Yeah. She's also so horrible to Kite, the kid. I kept expecting her to apologize. And the closest thing we get is like when they realize he's a god. She has more of like an, oh shit, he could kill me moment where she's like, oh, he's a god and I've been mean to him this whole time.
Oh, he's somebody. I gotta.
That's not an apology, Taylor. Anyway.
I totally agree with you on that. I personally, a character I don't like in Power Rangers is I really don't like I understand that they're trying to make comic relief characters, but I always don't like that they always keep doing a new Bulk and Skull like duo. It just kind of feels like they're the one I did like a lot though was the sisters in Ninja Storm. Those 2 girls are hilarious.
Yes, they're
the sisters. I forget their name.
Mara and Capri.
Yeah. Those 2 were hilarious. But I mean, what was the the duo in Ninja Steel?
Victor and
Victor.
the guy who's clearly in love with Victor.
Right. It was like a Gaston LaFool type thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
they've always been like that, but I feel like in this one, it's just so cringy, and it's just so over the top that I just
Yeah.
like I can't get behind it.
It's like they zeroed in on what makes the Bulk and Skull character and then just turned the dial up to like 12.
Yeah.
And it's not working anymore because there's no nuance to it. And
There's nothing original about it anymore.
like those actors do a great job.
Right. I'm not dissing the actors. I just know the direction was like, okay, now be as dumb and goofy as you can possibly be, and then more.
Well, and everything they do is so like stage performative instead of like TV performative. They're basically making the Scooby-Doo soundtrack noises themselves. They're like, oh,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
it sounds like anything.
Yeah. And I get they're supposed to be like the comic relief and all that, but I'm just like, were you a Ninja Steel fan by any chance?
I love Ninja Steel.
Anything past Mystic Force I haven't watched, but I do hear good things about Ninja Steel. Something I do love about Ninja Steel, it's not even like about the actual show, it's about the Peter, the Blue Ranger and Ninja Steel and the Blue Ranger for Downcharge. That moment they shared when the brother got cast as the Blue Ranger, that moment they shared of like, oh my God, we did it. We're both Power Rangers. Because I have a little brother as well. And we like grew up watching Power Rangers. That to me gave me like a sense of like, I think I almost teared up just watching them have that interaction because it was just so beautiful.
It's like the cutest thing ever. That was the Power Morphicon before the first one I went to. So I've seen the video though. And
it's so heartwarmingly beautiful. I love it. And it's his brother passing it on. It's insane. I love shit like that. And the fact that they both got casted, because I mean, casting directors can be really brutal. It's the chances of them both being casted as Blue Rangers is extraordinary for me.
Well, there was kind of a trope forever that the Blue Ranger is always Asian. So I feel like it was more likely they would get cast as the Blue Ranger than anyone else.
When I think of Blue Rangers, I think of Billy and I think of Sky. That's what I think of as Blue Rangers. And neither are Asian.
Yeah, well, I mean, were they Chad, Kai, Theo?
Yeah, you're right. I didn't even think about that. I just, when I think of Blue Rangers, I think of, because Sky was so good.
Oh, yeah.
And going to SPD, because I just thought about it. My favorite Power Ranger, I'm sorry, Tracy, is, my favorite Power Ranger is Doggy Kruger. SPD Shadow Ranger. That motherfucker is the exact definition of a leader. That guy doesn't just tell you what to do. That guy is in the shit with you. I love that guy. And he even evolves from his own students, from his own Rangers. The scene that always gets to me is when the Red Ranger, he says, I don't have to tell you everything about personally. I have a life outside of here. Just because you don't doesn't mean you have to like, chew me out on it. And he says, I've done everything you've asked me and more. And he like learns that. And even what's her name, the Cat Ranger?
Cat Max.
Even with her, she like tells him like, hey, you need to like calm down with them. They've done a lot for you. And like he evolves as a leader and I love it. I've even talked with the actor about it and we both were like, yeah, dude, isn't it crazy? Also, something I didn't like, I'm just ranting now. Something I didn't like about SPD was that his wife was still alive.
See, that's the thing that I was expecting with Cole's parents, because that's kind of what they always, and it's like Tyzon's girlfriend, like they just bring him back right in the last episode, just so we don't have to address that death is real. And it's so interesting in both of those situations, especially like, oh yeah, sure, Icenia is still alive, but everyone else on his home planet is dead. The writers are like, here, kid, here's a cracker. Don't notice the building behind us is on fire. It's the same with Tyzon. His whole team is dead, and all of his trauma over his whole team dying is still very real, but his girlfriend's okay.
Yeah.
What about the other 6 people?
They don't matter. They're filler characters. And with Doggy Kruger and John Toy and I agreed, like they should have kept the wife dead. Because his whole arc is him evolving from that trauma and him getting over it with his new family that he's now accepted. Because at first he's like, they're just my Rangers and that's it. But he's now accepted like, these are my family. And this is like my new healing, my trauma. And I've forgiven myself. I can move on with my life. But no, your wife's still alive. So go save her. And none of this matters. It's like, and honestly, I don't think he should have dated the Cat Ranger, but I feel like them already establishing some sort of relationship was great.
I feel so much like she's his only friend. And that's one of the things where like I get vibes different from other people. I'm so happy that they don't end up as a couple or really do directly romantic. One of the first times before she gets kidnapped and before he becomes a Ranger, there's a time where he like has a little tantrum and he goes and sits down on a bench and she just comes and like sits down next to him and kind of like puts her hand on his shoulder and is like, hey man, I'm on your side, but that wasn't cool. And I feel from them like they've really developed a strong relationship by working together for so long. At the beginning of the series, she's kind of the only person he has in his corner.
Right.
And I think that would be cheapened by them having a romance, but
no, I mean, that's why I said they didn't have to, but I feel like they were kind of developing that. But I still would have totally accepted like she's literally his only friend that's like there with him, especially since the trauma he had. For you, who do you think is like the villain you can see adapted on film?
Who would translate well into a movie?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, because they have to have like a good character arc, but not so complex that you couldn't do it in a shorter time.
Like what they did with Rita. I love what they did with Ivan Ooze. It was like a completely new villain. It was pretty smart. Like I totally was into it. The whole Rita thing in the 2017 movie, I think the actress did great. I think she did absolutely the best acting she could have done. I just felt like her literally building Goldar out of gold was kind of silly.
They just took it in such a completely different direction. Her costume is amazing.
Yeah. Oh, her costume is sick. And the fact that actually was really smart that they made her the Green Ranger. I thought that was really smart.
I think that's genius. And that's why she has the coin, because she betrayed them. And
that's how she gave Tommy the Green Ranger powers. It totally makes sense.
But then they did that whole like sexy animalistic lady villain thing, which really annoyed me because
what are guys gonna stare at, James?
Rita's more of a plotter, you know, and knowing that she's the one who betrayed the team and beat them all those years ago, it would make sense for her to be the plotter, to have the plan, to seek the revenge. And yes, she is doing that, but she's so just that really unflushed out girl in little clothing with ratty hair who's like, I kind of hate that. Like for the whole middle of the movie, her character is so obnoxiously flat. And I would have liked for her to be a little more calculating and maybe have a little bit more in the way of villain monologues. I feel like that was such a big thing. Just to, like keep going back to the first Suicide Squad movie, like the villain is the woman in the little thing who's like,
I didn't even think of that comparison. Yeah, that's still the same thing.
Such a big trope of like, they're dirty, but they're hot. And I'm like, okay.
Because everyone has to be sexy in movies, right? Like this just can't be, there can't be this ghoulish looking ugly woman. I mean, Rita wasn't even ugly. She's just
very pretty, but
she was very pretty, but like she wore this like very bizarre, extra bizarre outfit that just, you didn't even focus how pretty she was. You just like look at, she's clearly the villain with that thing on.
And then the voice throws you for a whole nother thing because she has very commanding, but also like kind of weird voice. So she has a very different presence than she did in the 2017 movie.
Have you seen any of the Sentai?
I've seen Magiranger, and that's it.
Which is that one?
Mystic Force.
Okay, is it good?
Really, really good. Yeah, loved it.
How different is it from Mystic Force?
Well, they're all siblings, which I actually really liked, and
all 5 of them. Oh, okay.
I'm kind of annoyed that they have never done a Power Rangers thing where they're all 5 siblings because the dynamic is so interesting. And then like it's the same thing. The White Ranger's the mom and the villain is the dad, but they're of all of them. It's a little darker, obviously, because it's and then, you know, it has like more Japanese culture, more like weird, quirky, goofy, cute kind of stuff in it. Ultimately, it was pretty similar. They adapted it pretty straightforward to like the general arc of what happens. But yeah, it was just really well written.
Okay. Do you plan on watching any of their Sentais?
Yeah, I have a list.
Okay.
I just am doing like 35 other things right now.
Right. And you say do you like watch stuff while you're doing other things? Is that what you do?
Well, I can't really do that with the Sentai because the sub's not.
Oh, you gotta read it. Yeah, you're right.
I like to focus on things when I'm watching them because I'm usually watching it to do a deep dive or a video. And if I'm doing something else and I miss an important piece of information, then that messes up the deep dive. So
right. Well, something I wanted to talk about, which is my series called Hammond. If that's cool, if I plug that for a second.
Me too.
Some people ask me, when is episode 2 coming out? Are you working on episode 2? Fun fact about that, it's hard to get a bunch of people into one place at the same time when we all have jobs and things independently.
Absolutely.
So it's hard, especially when you're working on minimum wage or just slightly above minimum wage. It's hard to even for sets. I don't know how Justin does it, who does Rail Riders. DMo, shout out to all these people. DMo, Justin, they get like 10, 20 people in one place at the same time. Like, I get it, we're all at the convention, so we did that, but like he gets them all into like a different states. And like didn't you have to drive somewhere for DMo?
Yeah, the last Project Zodiac film date, he got an Airbnb. There were like 50 people there. It was basically a convention. I was there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I had to drive 6 hours or whatever.
That's awesome for you, actually.
He just wanted to get all of the footage from episodes 4 and 5 done at the same time so we wouldn't have to organize another thing.
Yeah.
I don't even know. There were different people on different days, and he's working out like, oh, this person's only going to be here on Saturday. So if we film all their scenes on Saturday, and he just made it work. I don't know how. He deserves an award.
Yeah, all those guys. I feel like I'm like the little guy compared to these guys. I do my best. I try to do my best, especially with the people. Thank you for everyone who was on Hammond, especially to Mary Gibbs, who played Jasmine on it, who, you know, she does cons and she does other stuff. She does so many things. I can't even list them. Like right now, I think she's a massage therapist or something. Okay. She's just, I always see her like she's doing the van life thing. And then she'll do like fire spinning the next day. It blows my mind what this girl does. So I shout out to her for, you know, saying, yeah, I'll absolutely be in your Hammond series. But filming is going to be hard. And for some people who have noticed, I've, you know, leaned more towards into the voice acting thing. So I think what I might do is I've been talking to an artist, and I think I might turn Hammond into a comic. I think a comic would be great. It's cheaper. I don't have to fly anybody out. I don't have to book anything. I just basically make a script or, you know, make the storyboard. I know the artist I want to do it, and we can just make it on paper. And what I thought about doing, maybe I'll get people to voice, like narrate, like how they do. We'll just actually voice act the comic. Correct.
That would be so cool.
That's what I'm thinking. And Tracy's more than happy to do it as well. I was planning when I made the series, I knew in episode 3 or 4, I was going to have her in it because she's not in California anymore. So I knew I was going to either have to go to Texas. I mean, I could stay in their house. They've let me do it before, but I'd have to stay in their house for a while, bring also my film people and, you know, do everything all at once on their schedule because they have kids and they have jobs and they're always traveling for conventions. Like I think her husband told me every other week they're at a convention. So
that is a lot. I'm impressed that she's able to keep up with that.
It's all her husband. I call Javier her husband, her agent, sometimes her husband. He's awesome. He's great. He keeps them going. Like she's very like in tune with the fans and he's like, hey, you got a whole line of people. You can't talk to this person for an hour, you know, and which she will do. I've seen her do it. For some people, they always ask me, you know, when is Hammond? It's crazy how some people still praise me just for the concept alone. It's a very, I feel like this happens a lot where some people make a character based off, you know, oh, I'm the child of this legendary person. And I think I made a great decision on picking who I did because it would have been too easy to be the offspring of Tommy. It would have been too easy to be the offspring of Jason because everyone knows those. But I feel like to be an offspring of Ashley, not only do when I met her, she reminded me of my own mom. She just to me gave this energy because I've met her behind, you know, closed doors and, you know, I've talked to her. We've gotten real with each other. I'm so happy I actually portraying her son in this aspect because it feels real to me. I feel like I'm not acting as much because it sounds like how she raises her kids is how like my mom raised me. So I feel like I don't have to act or pretend as much. And I feel like the more real it is, the less acting you have to do.
That's true.
Have you seen the trailer, the first trailer I came out with where I'm like walking in the dunes? And like I say in the morpher.
I saw the first episode. I don't.
Right. I did a trailer.
I don't know if I've seen that.
And I'm wearing the gray and space jacket. I'm walking in like the dunes that I filmed in Arizona. It was just me and a cameraman. And Tracy thought I was like in some sort of like green screen or like something. But no, I was just in the dunes. And it was a tough day, by the way. I don't know if you've ever walked on sand dunes in combat boots. It's horrible. It's awful. I was breaking a sweat every other step. It was awful, but I did it. And in the trailer, all I say is Alpha, leave a message for Ashley Hammond. And I say, hey, mom, I found him. That's the trailer. I posted it and she saw that, you know, obviously what I'm doing, I'm wearing gray and space jacket and I'm wearing yellow. She's like, oh my God, you're playing my character's son. Like that concept of doing that, like Ashley Hammond legacy never even crossed her mind because it's always about the big heads. You know, it's always about Tommy. It's always about Jason or even about Andros, you know. And to me, I'm like, no, there's more to this character than there is. And I love storytelling. To me, one of the best things about living is storytelling. Like to me, that's my favorite thing. So I love to create and tell stories. And when I made this, I said, okay, this is going to be Power Rangers, but it also has to feel real. I don't want it to be goofy. I don't want it to be like very over the top. I want it to feel like this kid is missing a piece of him that he didn't know he was missing. And I really want to adapt that. I wanted to adapt it onto behind camera, but I feel like in comic, I could do so much. I can do a lot because there are some scenes where I do spaceship scenes and I'm like, if I did it with the time it's going now, I don't think I probably could adapt it in like, I wouldn't even know. But as a comic, I know I could definitely do it. And budget wise, I've thought about just doing the Kickstarter, just to, do like rewards if you donate such and such, And Tracy, she was more than happy to portray Ashley again. It was actually her first time portraying Ashley since Lost Galaxy. So I get to have that flex of like, oh yeah, the next time she portrays Ashley after Lost Galaxy is my little thing. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
She's actually going to be in Bloodline, which I was super happy for her. And those guys, DJ is awesome. I love those guys, Bloodline. And the amount of comments I've gotten from people saying, hey, are you going to be in Bloodline? And I could easily be like the whole like, I don't know. Even if I did, I couldn't tell you. I'm not going to be in it. Like, I'll just say right now, I'm not going to be in Bloodline.
Too bad.
No, it's all right. But I mean, I like that I'm doing my own independent thing. I have my own, Hammond, the series. To me, it's like, I could have said Power Rangers Hammond. No, but to me, it's more of a down to earth story. It's like Hammond, a Power Rangers story. It's the Hammond part that's important to me. But going to you, how did you get reached out about doing like the whole, playing Dr. K and all that? Like, was it from the cosplays?
It was so long ago.
It was millenniums ago.
It was. I think I posted a Dr. K video and DMo just sent me a direct message and said, hey, I'm doing this thing. Do you want to be Dr. K? And it was kind of like right when I started getting a lot of followers and I got invited to do a number of things. And in a way, DMo kind of gave me my training wheels for like what direct messages you should respond to. Because I responded to like 3 or 4 things at the same time in that era. And 3 of them, other than his, were like trash fires. And I was like, oh, I've learned what is good and what is not good. I am very grateful to him for showing me what the green flags are. But yeah, he pretty much just asked and I said, yeah. And then the first episode I'm in is just footage I shot in my living room. I sent it to him and the audio is pretty terrible because it's just room tone. And then he was like, oh, your character did really great. Do you want to like come back out? I'd like to have you in another scene. And so I like drove out to Indianapolis and filmed with those guys. And like Jamari was there. I love that guy.
Love Jamari.
Just like a good group of people. We were hanging out and we had a good time. And so when he asked me to like go shoot with him again, I was like, heck yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. DMo is really, he doesn't take compliments well, but I love DMo and he's a very creative mind. Even when we did the panel together at PMC for Project Zodiac, he was just like, yeah, whatever. It's whatever project. Dude, no, you're actually doing something. Like you're doing something here.
He undersells it so much. He needs an assistant director. DMo is like producer, director.
Well, what do you think the kid's for?
Like, he deserves an assistant director, somebody to send the emails and send out the call sheets and tell everybody that, you need to be on set or you're taking too long or stop talking or what. Yeah. He's doing all of that himself. And it is so crazy to watch him. Like he scheduled the whole thing. He got everybody there. He's trying to keep everything organized, but he's also directing and he's a character. It's amazing.
God forbid you're late or you say you can't show up because DMo will fucking lose it. God forbid you tell him any of that. I would rather cut my own foot off than tell DMo I'm not going to make it.
I don't know what it is, but he's always really, really nice to me. So I was late last time I filmed with them because I got lost in Indianapolis because my GPS screwed me over. But I messaged him and was like, hey man, I'm lost in Indianapolis. I'm going to be late. And he was like, don't worry about it. Everyone else is doing a horrible job getting ready. And I'm so stressed. And you're going to be here in plenty of time. And I was like,
yeah. Okay. Yeah, when I saw you in that Dr. K outfit, I was like, James looks more like Dr. K than Dr. K does. I genuinely believe that. I'm like, I already forget what the original Dr. K looks like because that to me is what she looks like.
I really want to do a better Dr. K cosplay because she has a very specific thing. Like she's still wearing her uniform from Alphabet Soup. She has like a little pleated skirt and a little vest that has a school insignia on it under her lab coat. Because I usually just wear like a sweater vest and a skirt. I'd really like to do a good job and get like the finer details.
That would be so cool. I always get happy and when I see you in your Dr. K thing. I know you're always working on cosplays. Like you're literally, I feel like there's not a single time where you don't put something together. You're just a crafty person, which I admire, by the way. Like if you have an idea, I'm like, I'm going to do it.
It's a curse.
Is there something you've wanted to do, but you just can't seem to put it together?
The first one I wanted to cosplay was the Cat Ranger.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I didn't have enough skills to get all the pieces together. And I'm kind of at a point where I think I could do it, but now it's out of my budget. So I'm just waiting for it to be in my budget so that I can put the time and energy into doing that. But
yeah,
that one's been on my list for years.
Yeah, that would be so cool. Cat Ranger, she's an OG, by the way. OG.
She's one of the OGs.
She's part of the OGs. If you know, you know.
First orange and white Ranger.
But I had a buddy, he wanted to go to PMC just to meet her. That was his only thing, the Cat Ranger. He's also a big anime weeb guy, so I think that was part of the deal too. But she is, I wish we got more of her.
They had the suit, and I know they didn't have the footage because the Deca Swan was only in one episode of the Sentai, but I think they could have had her just in the finale. Just like a little, put the suit on one day of filming, have her over in the corner doing something. I think that would have been really awesome for the fans, but
yeah,
one day, experimental morpher.
Do you ever plan on making your own like original fan series or something you want to create? No, it's not in your thing. You just like making videos, just you talking and ranting about stuff.
I have a lore brain. You know, I'm good at information and word vomit. I am not as good at script writing and original concepts and organizing and interacting with other human beings. Those things are all just a little bit out of my reach. So the likelihood that I would ever feel like I had a good enough concept, feel like I could really do justice to it with the script, feel like I could organize it and then have like the energy to pull that off.
Yeah.
It's like 0%.
So if it weren't for Power Rangers, what would you be making videos on if you weren't doing Power Rangers? What was like your big lore like fandom before Power Rangers?
Scooby-Doo.
Really? Scooby-Doo? What's your favorite like Scooby-Doo adaptation?
I really love the Scooby-Doo cartoons that they came out with right after the live action movies. Matthew Lillard stayed on as the voice of Shaggy for some of the cartoons. And they have this animation style that really harkens back to the original series with like their eyes are just line work, but the cornea is the same color as their skin. But then they also have a little bit more detail and a little bit more style to them. So they're kind of like original and new at the same time. They have a bunch of like slightly more mature jokes and sort of self-referential jokes, but they also have the montage chase scene and, you know, the eating a big crazy sandwich scene.
Running through doors that exit and enter to different hallways.
There's like 3 to 5 of those that they're so good. My favorite one is Scooby-Doo and the Phantasaur. Highly recommend. Yeah, they're just a very well written, like written with love adaptation of the original material.
You should do a Scooby-Doo just like entire lore video or something you want to talk about on Scooby-Doo. I love your Power Ranger stuff, but I always connect you with Power Rangers, but I always want to know like what else is she into? I don't know if anyone knows, I love Star Wars. Star Wars is like one of my favorite fandoms. That's probably my most lore. I read a lot of the expanded universe books in high school, and I still read some of the new canon stuff that comes out. But most people know that I love Star Wars. I'm also a huge lore fandom of Assassin's Creed. I love Assassin's Creed. So that's why I hope one day you do like Scooby-Doo or another fandom that you really like, because I love to see it. Oh, it's so cute.
Is in my hand now.
Now I'm thinking about it. You know who I wish would pick up Power Rangers to do a movie? It should be animated. Is Sony. I wish Sony would do it because those Miles Morales movies are animated and told so amazingly, especially with the second one. There's so many characters in that movie that they still were able to fit the main narrative of Miles while you're introduced to new characters and old characters, but you're still involved with the main character story. And I really wish they would do that, because I'm surprised the Power Ranger 2017 movie was able to do 5 characters and it's still like, oh, you understand and care for each one of these people. The one I feel like that didn't get the most attention was Zach. Yeah, I think Zach might have had less, but you do get a hint of like his life at home.
I think that with Zach, they kind of fell prey to his source material and motivation is so intense and so rich and so dark that you assume it only needs to be shown a little bit in order to be very poignant. They're like, well, clearly he's crazy because he's been taking care of his dying mother and he's like under all this pressure of responsibility and all of this trauma of like going through taking care of a parent. So they just show it for like 30 seconds. They're like, this is all you need to know about why he's wilding out and why he is the way he is. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, that explains it, but we really don't get enough time with his character to really flush it out and feel like we really know him. He ends up being a little bit more tropey than the other characters.
Right. So I feel like that's the only thing. But to be able to establish 5 characters in one movie was really amazing for me.
Yeah.
But I really feel like Sony, if they picked it up, I feel like they would make so much money off it, because Power Rangers is already very like anime-ish. And you know what's crazy? It's not hard. They have source material. I don't know what they're not doing. Do you think it's just giving up on it? They're like, we gave it a shot. We're not going to get the ratings we ever did in the 90s.
I don't have a lot of respect for Hasbro as a corporation. I've heard a lot of things from Transformers fans about the lack of instructions on toys, or how they'll buy something and then just kind of shelve it. And I mean, seeing the way that they've treated Power Rangers, they didn't give Cosmic Fury that many episodes. They really like have been cutting everything short and like sweeping the leg out from under the writers. They sold off all the old backlog of costumes, which means they can't use it for any future production.
Yeah.
They canceled the really awesome toy line that was clearly targeted towards adults, and now they're just making like children's toys. They really seem to be just kind of like chopping it up and selling the pieces. Like they're just selling it for parts. I don't think that they have the motivation to make anything worthwhile.
Aren't they still making Boom Studio comics?
They are still making the Boom Studio comics, but I don't know if Hasbro fully owns the rights to that. Like I think the comic books are still able to, unless Hasbro says you can't do that anymore.
Right.
But like, Hasbro isn't the driving force behind the comics being written. I think that that's someone else is saying, well, let's keep making comic books. I just think that they're probably going to ultimately end up either making a Mighty Morphin thing that isn't very good and kind of flops and then ignoring it, or ignoring it altogether, because they fell through with Netflix. They fell through with Paramount. They've had all of these ideas and deals that just keep falling through. And I think that they're probably going to end up shelving it completely. And we're going to have to wait until someone is able to buy the LLC from them before we get any more Power Rangers.
And I mean, Transformers 1, did you watch that movie by the way, Chance?
I did not. I saw the trailers.
I'm not even a Transformers guy. I've never seen the cartoons. I saw some of the live action Michael Bay movies. I thought they were really kind of over the top. I mean, if you're going to watch explosions and shooting, then that's what you should watch it for. Like, I don't even follow the plot, but Transformers 1 was a really just good movie. And I've shown to people who don't even care about Transformers either, who've never even like, I've heard of Transformers, and they really love the movie. This is a movie about 2 best friends that are going to end up hating each other. I mean, if you know anything about Transformers, even if you know the basics, you know that these 2 are villains. They're going to be bad guys. And that's exactly what I would want from like a Lord Zed or a Zordon movie. Because I know in the comics, are they like brothers or something? Or they're like the same species.
Yeah, they might be from the same planet, or they were in the same like regiment.
Probably gonna get all these comments. How could you be so stupid?
Right, Look, I don't read the comic books.
No, me neither.
I think they're in the same military regiment.
Well, I mean, even then, I know in the comic there's like some relationship of like why they hate each other, or they used to be like friends or something. That would have made a great adaptation where if you know anything about Power Rangers, you know these 2 are going to be hating each other by the end of this. And what you should do in a film is make it so, I don't want them to hate each other. That's what I think is great, because they did it amazing in this. Did you play the Spider-Man PlayStation game?
I did not.
Because in the game, your best friend and mentor is Dr. Otto Octavius, and you develop this amazing relationship, like almost father figure relationship. Like, I don't want him to be Dr. Octopus. It's like, so it's so sad at the end. That's the same thing with Transformers 1. It's so sad. You see that relationship slowly crumble, even though I saw it coming from the beginning. To me, that's genius when they do writing that's so good like that.
Well, I mean, even if you see it coming, like if the journey is well done, it doesn't matter if you knew it was going to happen, because you're still enjoying the process of like seeing it get there.
Exactly. And then it just all pays off at the end, where it's just so sad when like this relationship after this long journey just is broken. And it made me pretty emotional when I watched that movie. I can't stress enough how good that movie is. But I wish Hasbro would they had a successful story with Power Rangers. Like, that movie was so successful and really good. Why don't they do the same thing with Power Rangers? Like, I wouldn't even care if it wasn't like the core 5. Like, I would love something that was like Zordon or Lord Zed, or something that was like, is it canon besides the 2017 movie that Zordon was a Power Ranger?
Yeah, it's only in the movie.
The movie? To me, the movie made sense because this is how he got the powers.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And also for his character in the movie, like, he's really kind of a dick in that movie. He plans on like stealing the energy off their first morph to like help himself out and then take over, because he's the only one that can get the job done. And that makes sense as coming from the standpoint of he was a Red Ranger who led let his team down. I think it was a really good move to make him the Red Ranger and Rita the Green Ranger, because then their history makes so much more sense.
Yeah, that she betrayed him in the end. And she betrayed him for who again? Like, why didn't she just betray him for power? Or
yeah, I think she just wanted all of the power coins for herself. It's been a minute since I watched it, but I'm pretty sure it was just general power.
What do you think is the biggest like continuity mistake you've seen in Power Rangers?
I mean, I just made a video today, and the fact that they never tell us how Bulk got back to Earth after he moves to Miranoi.
What?
Never explained.
How he got back to Earth.
I mean, they go through an alternate dimension in order to get to Miranoi, and they're very, like, the whole season, they spend the whole time Lost Galaxy talking about how they're not going to be able to go back. It's a one.
Yeah.
And then 3 years later, Bulk is just at Club Bulkmeyer in Forever Red, and you're like,
oh, that's right. I never even put it together. I never even thought about it. Yeah, he just has. Wow. I guess they just hoped you were so focused on the Red Rangers you didn't care. Like he's just, oh yeah, it's Bulk and Skull. Oh, and there's Tommy. Okay, we forget about Bulk and Skull now.
I really appreciate the work that Cosmic Fury put into making SPD make sense, talking about how the refugees from planets that got caught up in Lord Zed's war have been moved to New Tech City. Then you're like, oh, well, New Tech City is the city with all of the aliens that moved there. And that like kind of makes sense.
Right, because doesn't SPD take place in 2025?
2025, yep. If they had put like even 2 seasons into building up anything about that, it would have made so much more sense.
I just kind of think of them as like sometimes they're just in different dimensions because, you know, not everything has to be in the same world. I know, because I know the OG Power Ranger movie, that's in a different dimension because they get the ninjetti powers differently and stuff like that.
As far as like main universe continuity in Power Rangers, they put a lot of work into letting us know that things are in the same dimension through like crossovers and things, and really specifically hammer down like only RPM and Dino Charge are in alternate dimensions and everything else is main universe. So then that just makes the plot holes even worse.
Do you want more Power Rangers or are you okay with it ending?
I want more Power Rangers.
I get it. There's, especially if I would love a more mature adaptation, still like for kids, you know, teenagers or kids. I don't think we have that like that Power Ranger movie that just like, yeah, everyone loves that movie. I've heard shit talk about the OG movie. Turbo movie. I don't think I've heard a good thing about that Turbo movie.
Who has talked shit about the 1995 movie? I've never heard any.
I feel like people like it more because I mean that movie's really dated. Like that CGI fight at the end.
Oh yeah,
awful. It's awful. Terrible. It's so dated. But I honestly so yeah, me. That's mainly who I'm talking about. I don't think I've heard a single thing about the Turbo movie.
Oh, no one likes the Turbo movie. I enjoy watching it, but
didn't you watch it drunk?
Every time.
Every time.
Never watched that movie.
Is that how you get through it?
That's how I have fond memories of it.
You know, I really wish they would bring Justin back.
Oh God, me too.
I know you mentioned it that he's like a big dude now. And you know, Justin, he loves being a Power Ranger. I mean, even his own story of how he got casted is like as a Power Ranger kid who got into martial arts because of Power Rangers. So to me, it's like he's only built himself up since then. So he should absolutely come back in some way or another.
Oh yeah. Blake Foster would do such a good job because he would be really excited and he already knows mixed martial arts and he has history with the show. I just think it's kind of a no-brainer. Like a mini series about like he's still got the Turbo Blue powers and he's mentoring a Turbo team. I would love that.
I mean, have you heard his theory that Justin is the Phantom Ranger?
No.
That's him in the future.
Ah, that makes sense.
He says that he makes a joke about it and then when he demorphs, he shrinks down instead of growing up. But I could totally see Justin being the Phantom Ranger in the future. I can see that being a plot.
Yeah, that would be cool.
But I wish Justin would get another chance of being a Ranger as a grown-up. And his kids look exactly like him. So if they need another little Justin, they can just get a
flashback double.
Yeah, they can just get his son, give him the bowl haircut. He'll be great.
Here's another cat.
Oh,
whenever I'm on the Zoom, it's like a phantom cat. Like it'll just disappear. You can go away now. Thank you.
What made you want to start doing this podcast? Did you just wanted to talk Power Rangers with your friends?
Yeah, I don't get to see my friends enough. I get to see everybody like 2-3 times a year at convention. Yeah. And it seemed like a good excuse to talk to my friends, but also long form content. In myself trying to let go of the concept that long form content needs to be incredibly overproduced. You have to have special effects and costume changes and there has to be a script. So this was kind of my experiment to see if I would be okay with just doing like a freeform conversation thing. It's been going really well. It's really fun to like just talk to people about Power Rangers.
Yeah, it is. I've actually wanted to talk to Scott. For those who don't know, Scott Zillner is the runner of PMC. If I can do a panel and the whole hour is just doing Power Ranger trivia and I'll give like a prize or something at the end. If you say no to it, James, I'm going to drag you into it because I feel like you would win every time.
Well, I helped with the Power Rangers trivia on day 0 at Ranger Stop and Pop. And it was really interesting because I wrote some of the trivia questions. There's no clear middle ground with Power Rangers trivia. It's either like, who's the Blue Ranger in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers? And everyone is like, don't make me laugh. This trivia is ridiculous. Then you get into things like, who are the 2 Power Rangers main villains to become an actual Power Ranger in a later season? You get into these really complicated questions. And so they were like, every question you wrote was so hard. And in my mind, I was like, I was trying to make it doable.
Like, what was one of your questions?
One of my trivia questions was, when Bulk and Skull say they're Power Rangers, what colors do they say they are?
Now that's a good one. But people are like, that's too hard.
Well, no, actually the audience was down to clown. But the hosts were like, I think yours are going to be the difficult ones.
Who's the original Green Ranger? Like, that's the trivia they wanted or what?
Well, that was the first round. There were like 4 rounds. It's interesting. What is too hard that it's no longer fun, you know?
I feel like too hard is like, what's the color of this person's belt in this? Or so, I don't know. I feel like it'd just be like nitpicky stuff that's too hard. But that's a good question. Stuff like that if you're paying attention, you would know. That stuff is like good questions. Like, I'm really bad with Power Ranger trivia in general. Like, I probably will get by the basic that most people know. I probably can be above like the average person, but I already forgot what 2 Power Ranger, blue and black, right? That's what they said. Okay, I remember that now.
I just don't answer fast enough. I'm really good at trivia, but I'm not good at really, really quick recall. So I'm terrible at Power Rangers trivia because someone always answers before me.
Like, you're not good as like on the spot type thing.
Yeah, I could figure it out if it was written down and I had to. I'm not going to be the first one to raise my hand.
I want to ask you about your Power Ranger tattoos, because I know you have Ninja Storm. Yeah, I know you have 2. You have Ninja Storm Yellow and you have from Cosmic Fury, right?
Dino Fury, yeah.
Dino Fury, thank you.
Not that there's much of a difference. Cosmic Fury, she just has like little tiger stripes on the side, but it's the same helmet.
DMo do your Ninja Storm Yellow one?
He did, yeah. He did it at Ranger Stop Orlando in his hotel room.
He tattooed me in his house, but it wasn't Power Rangers. It was Magic the Gathering nerd stuff.
Nice.
But do you plan on getting any more Power Ranger tattoos?
Yeah, I think it's time for me to get the lightning bolt because I didn't.
Just the generic lightning bolt.
Yeah, I didn't want to start with that because it felt so like I don't want that to be my only Power Rangers tattoo. Now that I have some other ones, I definitely think it's time to get that. I'd also really like to get a helmet that's like a combination of several helmets from Dino Charge, but I would need someone to design like how to blend those together in an effective way.
How much would someone have to pay you to get the Orange Ranger from SPD or something? Like just a Ranger, not even like the core.
Like a dare? Like how much would someone have to pay me to dare get a tattoo?
Yeah.
$10?
You just get it? You would just get it?
First of all, SPD Orange is goated. It's this helmet right here, but just orange.
Right.
Second of all, like if you pay for the tattoo.
Oh, you're cool with it?
Hell yeah. I have enough tattoos now that like, unless it's directly against something that is like my core beliefs, I'll just get a tattoo.
Oh, that's fair enough. I have one and I'm pretty sure you know what it is. It's the yellow in space. It's on my leg.
You need to be
the helmet.
With that. Because once you get more, then you get to the point where I am, where I'm like, oh, you want me to get a tattoo? What do you want me to get?
Oh, well, I'm cool with getting tattoos. I think I'm probably the same boat as you. As long as it doesn't go against what I like, even if it's like Star Wars and you make me tattoo fucking Max Rebo from the Jabba the Hutt scene, I'm totally cool with it. As long as you're paying for my tattoo, cool.
There's
go
a
ahead.
Story, you know?
Yeah.
I would get it.
Yeah, to me, you've signed my my Power Ranger autograph book.
Yep.
To me, it's not about the signature, it's more about the people. I call it my Power Ranger yearbook. You know, it's like, oh, have a great summer. You know, it's like everyone in the community signs it. The actors, the fans, you know, the stunt actors, everyone signs it. I want everyone's signature on it. It's more about the memory and the story behind it.
Do you have any closing thoughts?
Thank you so much for having me. This was very fun. If you ever do it again with like a group of people, that'd be very fun. You can always invite me. If you want to follow me on Instagram at the real Shankar Dhillon. I know my name is really weird and confusing, but I love it. Thank you so much for having me, James. I had a really good time. That was great.
Thanks for being on the show.
For sure. All right. You take care of yourself. Hey, why are you recording me?
I don't know what you're talking about. The voice is lying.
Yeah, they usually are. What you do is you never tell anyone about the voice, especially teachers. They always get all weird about it.
And parents.